Okay, welcome to episode 3 of the Calzax Gaming Podcast, where we will debate, discuss, and journal our gaming experiences, as well as the latest gaming and entertainment news. Today, we have an emphasis on the game Escape from Tarkov and Squad. My name is Caleb. You will recognize me from many of our Calzax gaming videos and streams. I studied computer science and math, as well as game development at the University of Texas at Austin, so I'll try to involve my background in some of the discussions that we'll have. I'd like to let my two co-hosts now introduce themselves, so that'll be Sieglum. Go ahead and take it away.
Oh yeah, I'm Sieglum. You may recognize me from my obscure Minecraft time lapses I posted about 7 years ago, and also I play a little bit of FPS games now and then. I've been known to frag, I've been known to take dubs, and I've been known to say GG easy after I'm done with it.
And talk about shoes. He does like shoes.
I do like shoes.
All right, so you do?
Wearing some right now.
Innovative.
Right. Truly extraordinary.
Yeah, what up?
Mm-hmm.
I am Cedu. You probably will be catching me on most of the Twitch streams that go on around here on the Calzax airship. Yeah, I've got a extensive background in gaming of all variants. I play the FPSs, I play the survivals, you know what I mean? I've been everywhere and done everything.
You play Angry Birds?
Just touched all forms of media, including Angry Birds.
I consume all forms of media.
Not limited to
a media lord.
Yeah. Well, heard. I do want to get into some Tarkov, nice and early. Let our viewers just go ahead and get it straight into the conversation on that stuff. But we'll be diving around a little bit here. We'll definitely get to Squad later in the podcast. And we, as always, will be posting clips up on YouTube. Twitch chat, again, we will be looking at Twitch chat. If you say something that's pretty pertinent to the conversation, we'll definitely bring it up. But we won't just be talking about every single thing that goes on in chat, just for the sake of the podcast being posted later. So anyways, let's go ahead and dive in. And one of the first things that I want to talk about, we're going to be talking about a lot of the recent events in Tarkov. That's some of the most important things that we love to discuss. So obviously chime in the comments. Let us know what you want us to talk about in future podcasts, as well as what you think about what we said. And, chime in. We'll chime back in the comments as well, guys. So anyways, lately I have been absolutely loving the 308 MDR. And
have you now?
I think last wipe, obviously, I was a big SA58 fan, Juice Cannon, obviously, but the MDR, just based on the rebalancing of a lot of the ergonomics and recoil and things like that, lately has been sitting really nice in terms of price and effectiveness to me. This wipe, put a little shift on it. It's pretty nasty, but to me, 308 right now, 7.62 by 51 is arguably the best all-around caliber in the entire game. In the entire game, I think it's probably, or again, arguably the best caliber due to these factors. All right, M61. That's the main round we want to discuss when it comes to this. Yes, we have M993, but guys, it's super expensive, so you only need it for the muzzle velocity when you're sniping. That's pretty much when you want to use it. M61 is the round that we're actually really going to talk about. M61 has 60 plus penetration. It has 70 damage. It is easily acquirable once you have later hideout things. It's just, at over 1,000 something ruble a round, it is expensive, but once you get into the game, it's acquirable. It's just nasty. It goes through everything. It does damage. And this is a round that is comparable to that of many of the sniper rounds, but it can be fired full auto with only 70 to 80 recoil in guns like the MDR. So to me, that's all pretty insane. I'd challenge you guys to tell me a caliber that can do any of those things that I described before like that. That's why I think this is arguably the best. But how have you guys been enjoying 308? And what do you guys think about the balancing of 308?
Oh, don't get me wrong. I love me some 308. My goodness. Probably my favorite caliber as well, because I like using anything. Putting an M61 and a Vepr Hunter, I don't know, messes with people for such a low budget. I actually have a really sad story about 308 MDR. I haven't gotten to use it too much this wipe yet, just because I've been low level and poor, kind of. But I had died about 6 raids in a row, and I didn't have the best gear on for him, so I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna splurge on this raid. So I had a 308 in my inventory, got me some M61, put on my killer armor, full helmet, headphones, Vogs, like the whole shebang. I was like, all right. Oh yeah, and I had like a voodoo on the 308 as well, full landmarking it. I was like, all right, this is gonna be the raid. I'm gonna break the streak real quick, and I spawned Immercom, and I ran for about 15 seconds towards the ramp to go back ollie, and apparently I got domed from like behind me, like somebody else was at Immercom, and I have no idea how they did it. Like I lived 15 seconds that raid, and then I force quit and threw my water bottle at my door. It was
Oh,
308. It kind of hurts a little bit, but such a good weapon if you get to use it. Really, M61 that'll go through anything. Chads are not safe if you can shoot them.
that's so tough.
And then we have a question reoccurring, like, what's your best raid? That was my worst one. I was at the lowest of my lows.
So you do what are you? Give us your 308
Yes.
knowledge and thoughts.
Man, you're not really playing Tarkov until you put, like 3 full magazines of, M61 in your rig, man.
Such a freeing feeling.
It does all the work, man. You really just point and click, and that bullet just goes over there and
Very consistent.
really just does the work. It really kills like anything that has a breath that shows up in the cold. I'm pretty sure with that penetration, it goes through like even Gear 5 armor and everything.
Yeah, class 60 plus pin, class 6. It goes through everything.
Yeah, it's class 6. Yeah, true.
70 damage, so it won't one tap you to the thorax, but 70 is fat, man. It takes 2.
You really notice.
But yeah, as you guys pointed out, it can be used in the Vepr Hunter for cheap. That's the beauty about 308. Like you toss some M61, you've got a sniper or a semi-automatic. Yeah, RFB, exactly, similar stuff, and you're tossing some crazy caliber rounds. Like even the SVD doesn't have this kind of like power behind it, honestly, like in a lot of ways. And it's so low recoil. The fact that you can full auto it in an MDR is just insane. So let me ask again, what do you guys think about the balancing of 308? Do you like where it's at right now, or do you think some other ammos need some upping? Do you think this needs to come down a little bit? Are you comfortable with where it's at, or how do you guys feel about 308 balancing?
I think for its price, it's really good because I would be getting M61 every raid, and I think everybody else would too if it wasn't like 2,000 a round. Like, you really have to make them count and kind of be a little richer to do it. Like, I'm level 25, I think, right now, and I've had M61 like a handful of times. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's...
So Siegel's about where it's at right now. What about you, Sidu?
I definitely would like to see, them beef up other rounds, or just like make the rounds that they have just, substantial. If they want things to be able to compete with the just magnitude of the M61.
Yeah, I agree. Personally, I agree. I think it's.
I mean, you'll find that round on like the top of every like pie chart, every bar graph that you see. Yeah,
absolutely. And I do think they need to add a couple good rounds for some of the other classes, like 7.62 by 39 potentially. If they're going to have an M61, I don't understand why they don't have a better round than BP for that, for late wipe at least, because I think BP is a little tough late wipe. 7.62 by 39 BP, that is. And potentially even like the Ash 12, I think that needs a better round because I think it doesn't have a good time later wipe.
Yeah, it's a 50 cal, man.
So that's what I'm saying, yeah. I think they need to add some other stuff just because so there's not one street to run down. Now, granted, I love using this gun, but anyway, so yeah, that is our talk on 308. Let us know what you guys think about 308 and the balancing, and we'll definitely be talking more about it. But let's move on and talk about some recent Tarkov news. So recently, as recent as today, but I think the main development was a couple days ago. They spent multiple chunks of time where Tarkov was unavailable to players, where they went in to fix servers, saying that they're upgrading the server hardware and things like that. From what I understood on Twitter, just the tweet that they posted. And something about optimizing, I believe, factory customs and labs. This is all out on Twitter that they were saying. And at the time of the filming of this podcast, even actually it might be back up by now, but Tarkov was down for server updates just even a few hours ago. So we'll have to test it out soon. We have not been able to check it out. But it has been reported to me that after the last update that they did, like, within the past couple days, that it may have helped with some of the lag when the player is loading into a raid, because I know that's been a problem for a lot of people with lower end computers. Not even lower end, like even decent computers are having trouble with this. It's just if your computer's not an absolute monster, you might have some memory problems. It's what it's seeming to me, like maybe some sort of memory leak that they've had, but it could be on the server side. I'm not sure. It just seems like they'd have trouble like loading into a raid, and I've received word that maybe that might have been helped, looked at a little bit. So we'll definitely have to do some more testing. But I did want to bring it up and say that we will be testing it. It has happened. Bring it to you guys' attention. They are looking at it. So hopefully they are hearing our cries about desync and stuff like that and looking to fix these kind of servers. And I wanted to ask you guys, basically, are you guys happy that those are the maps that they're kind of choosing to optimize, apparently? And, if this is what one of the main things you guys think that Tarkov should be focusing on.
I mean, like I said previous, I don't know, podcasts, that Interchange is my favorite map. So make sure you add that in there, because every time you step inside from outside, that's an immediate like 20 FPS drop, which I mean is probably expected just with the map itself. But if they could optimize that one too, that'd be great. But hey, any work they're doing to optimize these things, labs is probably the one I'm most excited about there. Maybe they can fix a little bit of the peeker's advantage type stuff, and working on stuff like that too. Anytime they're working on the game and optimizing and making it better, that's great news to me, because it's definitely one of the games that definitely needs it. It could always perform better compared to other mainstream shooters nowadays. Good stuff to them. And even though it took down the server for a little while, that might be like a healthy lifestyle choice for some people.
Some people needed
a couple hours.
I got Landmark to play CSGO.
Oh my God, did it?
Yeah, no, he did. To 7,000 people, he's playing,
Incredible.
CSGO.
I just watched Ready Player One, and they at the end of it, turns out they shut down the game like every Tuesday to focus on real life.
They might need that for some people in the community, man. Hell, it'd probably be a good thing.
It could work.
Yeah, I definitely think that any like steps that they take, I agree with Seglin when he said like it's just good. Like for them to be like any kind of attack that they're like leading against like desync or like any of these problems is great. And like I heard that they like modernized like some back end stuff. And like, I get it, man. It's not fun like messing with server stuff, it's probably not like what they're interested in doing, over there. But like doing stuff like that really helps like the whole base experience. Like, you know what I mean? It's like bringing up the water, like you got to have the water, but it's not the funnest to, bring it all the way up.
I think you're hitting the nail on the head there. Like, I think definitely, like, if you're a player and you play this game a lot, you're experiencing that, that back end.
I mean,
and it might not be, they might have signed up to go make this really cool shooter game and stuff, but somebody's got to put in the effort in the back end, and we're all going to feel it and be thankful for it. So I definitely hear you there. So hopefully it is pretty good. We'll definitely have to test it out. Let us know in the comments, how it is, what the state of it is, what you think they should continue to work on, and we'll evaluate that again. And other than that, let's go ahead and move on even further. I did want to bring up that they recently have posted pictures of 2 new guns, actually, on the Escape from Tarkov, I think Instagram and possibly the Twitter as well. And I actually have not had the chance to watch it, so we will have a much larger discussion in a future podcast about this later. It's coming. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a slacker. But Raid 5 has come out. Raid Episode 5.
That's a good one.
I still need to watch it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Let's talk. Let's plan to talk about this soon. I'm sorry. I'll stop slacking, and we'll discuss this in the near future. But they also posted 2 new guns. So they had a 45 USP handgun and a potentially a 7.62 by 39 AR, is what it was looking like. And so I did want to get you guys' thoughts on that. Hopefully you guys got to see the images of that, but usually fun to talk about the new guns like that. So what are you guys' thoughts on those 2 guns specifically?
Say it again. 45 ACP pistol and
yeah, it was a 45 caliber USP. So maybe again, I'm no firearms expert, so sorry about that, but it might be something like the Deagle or something. I'm not exactly certain, but it was a black-looking handgun. I mean, obviously something similar to the 1911 or something shooting the 45, but it did look
USP,
different.
That's the
USP
one from CS:GO.
Okay.
I think that is the USP.
USP. Okay, I see.
The one that's on the table, right? All deconstructed. Where's the other one that you're talking about?
It's all up on their Instagram. You have to kind of scroll through the photos, but the actual assault rifle looked like a 7.62 by 39, which is kind of exciting. I love that caliber, so I'd like to see them do more with it. Like I said, I already said before in this podcast, I'd love to see them add another bullet for that. So
yeah.
Anyways, guys, I do think those will be really cool, and I'm excited for them. Obviously, I think Tarkov guns are some of the best in video games to date when it comes to these guns. They do an amazing job of scanning them and how they look and how they feel, how you're able to interact with them. It's almost as close as you can get to that VR experience almost with these guns, and so this will be really exciting. I always love them adding new guns. I mean, some people say that obviously it shouldn't be their main focus and stuff right now, but it's what the game's about. So did you just get to see that, Seagull? You got to see pictures of it?
Yeah, I saw the it looks like a USP.
Yeah,
sure.
USP.
I was analyzing a little bit more. I don't see the AK variant just yet, but I did see a photo. I can't see it here on their Instagram. It might have been like their Twitter or something. But the developers had a Desert Eagle on their table. Like, this wasn't an in-game model. This is just like the real life one.
Oh, so potentially in the future, yeah.
If they're experimenting with it,
that'd be cool.
In Tarkov, it's going to be even more inaccurate than the one in CS:GO. So that'll be hard to use, but it should be fun at least. Big bullets, big damage.
Oh, for sure. I hear that. Well, but you never know. You can mod your guns up to have some pretty low recoil, so it might not be too bad.
You'll find a way to do that to a Deagle.
Oh yeah, just put a foregrip on it, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A stock.
Yeah, the Deagle stock. Okay, and so another thing as well in the Tarkov world that I wanted to talk about that I've been seeing going on in Twitter and just in the community is I've been seeing a lot of complaints about the labs loot pool. When compared to like reserve, shoreline, and especially interchange, with the tech prices recently going up so much. And it's really interesting because obviously you'd think labs with the high price tag. I mean, the raiders obviously have their gear and stuff, but the static spawns definitely seem to be in a tough place right now. And I've seen a lot of labs mains saying it's making it difficult to make their money back and stuff. So, and like if they compare it to other maps, like those maps are making even more money where they don't even have to pay a price tag to get into labs.
Right,
like
for sure.
So I was just going to say, what do you guys think they should do about this? Do you think it's good to just be where it's at right now? Like early wipe having labs just be kind of desolate, or do you think they should make sure that labs is the best, map for loot at all times?
Yeah. I think labs should be coveted. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like completely. I don't know if what's the problems that they're having? Just
well, it's like if you use a key card, like your blue key card, black key card, green key card, red key card, violet key card. There's just not good spawns. Like I just in general, and I mean obviously it's all RNG to an extent, so who knows exactly. But I mean in general, I've seen a lot. Like the general consensus is that it's pretty bad, the spawns that they're getting. So it's like not making up for the prices of the key
I think
cards,
there should be
all that.
like a requirement. Like there has to be 2 LEDXs like in the map somewhere, or something like that. Like there should be like guaranteed items. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but like, their locations would be completely random.
I think that's interesting. So it's like there's
for labs,
a certain amount of money. What do you think about that, Siegel?
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting way to do it. I think if that happened, it would drive down the price of Letixes just because they don't spawn every raid. But like, I was thinking they were complaining about like static loot spawns just everywhere in labs. I was like, yeah, because most of them are behind like a paywall of a key card or something, or a key. But if people aren't even getting loot to cover their key card expenses out of Red Room or something, I'm not sure if it's the biggest issue because I've always gone to labs because I haven't really had too many key cards, maybe like a blue one or a green one now and then. But like, it's all about the raider loot. That's how you make money on labs. It's how it really has been. If it was all about the static spawns, that's just where all the hatchlings would be going to. Get that like 200 grand key card, sprint to Red Room, get your LEDX, and die. And like, you can make a lot of money that way instead of actually playing labs how they have it right now with like all the raiders being your main source of income. But
I hear that, and that's a whole other conversation too, and the fact of like the static spawns and like people hatchet running and stuff. Because like, I was listening to like a clean thing the other day, and he was saying that he thinks that like containers, you should be able to like put your meds and ammo and stuff in them, but you should never be able to put found in raid items in them, so that anything that people pick up is fair game. That way, if you kill somebody, like if you kill a hatchling that made it there first, they'll still have it on them and stuff.
I kind of like that idea.
And it rewards the PvP more. He's saying, yeah. So I did think that was an interesting thought, and I kind of pertains to what you were saying there. So
damn, that would be crazy,
right? Because I mean, I play interchange all the time, so I deal with the hatchling hordes, and
everybody just keysters stuff. It's just how it is.
I killed a man with a knife, and like, some people don't even bring knives in. They don't even care.
They carry the lightest loads.
Nothing.
The lightest
loads as much as they just want to get there, save as much money as possible. And I definitely can see how that could detract from the experience of Tarkov. Obviously some people have fun doing it that way, and I'm not trying to step on their toes, but like, I don't know if that was the intended purpose of the way the game is supposed to be played. I don't know.
As a pistol, like
minimum pistol for facts.
Yeah. But like, I don't know, these crazed maniacs in this realistic military simulator run into a war zone, just some clothes on, like, I gotta get a graphics card so I can play all my video games or mine Bitcoin and die. It's not the most realistic. I know it's not entirely about realism here, but I don't know. It's just a shitty thing to deal with.
Well, so that's something we will continue to keep an eye on, the loot pool and what they do over the course of this wipe, because obviously we can kind of refer back to this next wipe and stuff, and how they change throughout the course of the wipe, and that hopefully it will enable us to predict the future a little bit better when it comes to these sort of things. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Tarkov Pioneers.
Yeah.
But in other Tarkov news, so there was a massive fuel shortage going on not too long ago. For a while there, fuel was constantly out of stock, and
Also
when you try to buy it from Jaeger,
Tarkov as well, not just Texas.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. In IRL and in game. I mean IRL if you were in Texas at least, because it was apocalypse mode
Fuel's
out here.
money, man.
And we can talk about that a little bit more at the end of the podcast, towards the end when we get through all this content. But because it was kind of some crazy stories out here, chat. We have some to talk about. We'll definitely do that. But anyway, the fuel was running over 600K on the flea market, and even barters like matches were pricing over 250K in total. Just insane prices just for fuel. For the big fuel containers, it's now running about 200K. So they've decided to kind of end that fuel shortage, which is good, and it seems completely reasonable to me given that Jaeger's price is 140K. And so My question for you guys now, though, is given that the fuel shortage is now over, obviously that was crazy. You can now buy them from Jaeger. You can get that 140K fuel, and you can kind of stockpile it if you want. It's still a high price tag for fuel. It's higher than it probably was last wipe. I don't think it was 140K. I think it was like 100K maybe even. So this could be a high price tag for those that don't have a Bitcoin farm. What do you guys think? Do you like where fuel's at right now in terms of price? Think it needs to change some more. I mean, obviously, I've watched other people like Clean, for example. Again, he's talked about that he thinks Tarkov's economy needs a complete overhaul, but this is a specific question about one thing, I guess, the fuel. How do we like how that's fitting into the economy?
I mean, compared to if you're getting fuel for your Bitcoin farm, I mean, it makes sense. It takes a lot of the profit out of it if you don't have like the solar power to double your fuel capacity. But if you're just like little Timmy trying to craft a Salawa in your hideout for the therapist quest, like 140,000 is way too much. You got to find a fuel and raid, and I'm sure it'd be tempting to just sell it anyways if they were that price. But at 200,000 and being able to buy Jaeger, like Jaeger was out of stock constantly, like for a little while. But lately, I've been able to just buy it straight up for 150. It seems decently balanced. Like, I'm speaking from privilege because I finally got my Bitcoin farm up, so that's good. I don't know. It's hard. Like, I feel like I don't even know what I feel. Yeah, I'm a neutral party on this.
To be honest, like, I feel like it's probably fine, just due to how much money you can make off Bitcoins. But like you said, like for little Timmy, man, I think they should really just consider adding like a 5-gallon jug or something. You know, just something for like get yourself like your 3 crafts down or whatever you need to do. Make the salawas and just be done with the jug.
See, that could be interesting. But I was thinking about it too. I do think it's expensive. Obviously, it's more expensive than it's been. But I do think that given Bitcoin farms, it is a good price. But yes, I do hear about the Timmies that don't have the ability to put funds into it like that. But I think it's okay because I'm pretty sure now in the starting items that you get, it gives you fuel when you start the game. And since you can just turn your generator off, I don't think it's too bad. Like, you're not going to really consume too much fuel as long as you turn it off.
That's
and use that starter stuff.
Turn it off.
Yeah, so as long as if you forget that, this is outside of that conversation. But between those two things, I think it is a lot. I think it's pretty decently balanced compared to a lot of things in Tarkov. So that's my thoughts on it. Now, chat, let us know in the comments and everything what you guys think. We would definitely like to hear where you think fuel will be headed from here and where it's at now.
Sure.
And let me see here what I've got. We have got through most all of our Tarkov stuff here for now. Let's go ahead and jump into some squad talk. So, man, it is actually really big time for squad. Really, really big time. Thanks to everybody who came out and watched that last squad clip from the podcast. Really, really appreciate you guys. But, man, it's a new kind of era for squad. They've recently released the Squad Update V2. They added tons of stuff worthy of its own video that will absolutely be coming to our channel soon. It's a giant list of stuff. I'm gonna have to sit down and go through it with you guys in its own video. But let's talk about just some of the examples of stuff that they added. They added 4 entire new vehicles. They added 3 new weapons: the Mosin RPD and the C7A2 AR. And they updated many of the maps in the game. They added a delay to spawning on new habs and many other gameplay changes. They also added many shader updates to help the game look better, as well as different bug fixes and tons of other stuff. So again, we'll go over that probably in a future video because it's a lot. But Sidu, I know that you had the opportunity to play around with it this last Squad Sunday for the first time because it literally just happened. What was your experience with the update?
Wow, it was good. They really added like a whole lot of new stuff. So like for instance, most of the guns they added like the Mosin Nagant, You know what I mean? So you can be Mosen Manning, with your whole squad now on squad. And they added the RPD, in which all these weapons are kind of inclusive to like a certain faction that was deemed like bad. You know what I mean? So this is essentially their way of like fixing it. They're giving them some new stuff, better things, and so they're not like the rebels against the Empire. You know what I'm saying? But like the new shaders, man, like the new textures, they are really good. And they added this new map, and like they had been bragging about this map. It's called like Goose Bay, and it is really good. Like they really outdid themselves on that place.
I need to check out that map. I need to see what it's like. That sounds really cool.
It's worth the wait time. Absolutely.
That shader update, like you can literally see it from like the preview videos. Like I could tell like the difference in quality already. Like it looks.
It's great. Yeah, man. You want me to be happy about a game? Just work on the lighting, and I'll be plenty happy.
Well, the shaders affect all kinds of graphical things, not only the lighting. But I absolutely. That's what I was literally just about to say. I was like, one of the best things to me, I didn't get, like, I played a little bit of it on that Sunday, so I didn't get to experience many of the gameplay changes, really, but the shaders, I noticed. Because even just looking at the clips that I had, like, compared to old squad clips, you can tell how much better it looks. Definitely updated graphics there. So I was a big fan of that, because squad didn't look bad or anything before, but it looks a lot better now. I mean, it's a modern game. It should look good. It's on a good engine and everything. And so that was really good to see. Obviously, some of the vehicle changes and like helicopter changes will be really, really cool. Sea-Doo and I and Sieglum, I'm sure, as well, we'll all be doing more and more of it in Squad Sunday. So make sure y'all get out in the airport Discord to that. The link will be in the description of the YouTube video. We also do Tarkov Saturday as well, but we basically try to get as many gamers as we can coming through, playing on these, and we'll get you involved. And Squad is a great game to have as many people as possible. We're all going to be checking out this new update, so we'll keep the information coming to you guys about that. Stay tuned. We have a lot more about that, but we did want to update you guys with that information that they have changed a lot of things, so stay tuned. But also, in addition to that, lately, we have been able to run a lot more command squad, and it's been pretty interesting to see how far good communication and defenses can get your team. I think that's one of the things that we really saw getting to run command squad. We were able to take teams lacking leadership, where we basically volunteered for commander. We're the only ones to do it, and so like if we hadn't done it, no one would really be in charge. It was just these militia, basically. We were able to lead our trips to victory just because we were able to essentially bring the units together and make sure everybody was doing something cohesive.
Warriors with walkie-talkies.
Yeah, it's crazy. And these videos, guys, the Command Squad, we have 2 episodes. Those are up on our YouTube. Check those out if you guys want to see specifically what we're talking about. We have two perspectives in the video. It's really cool, actually. You get to see a lot. It's basically like a chess match. It's wild. But I wanted to ask Sea-Doo, how much of a factor do you think poor leadership plays into your wins and losses in squad? Like when you join into a random team, you're not the commander or anything really. You're just kind of you're gaming, you're a squad leader maybe even, but like, when there's a good hierarchy and they're telling you things like, hey, we need you over here, we got mortars on that position, go help your buddies over here, and then versus when it's just silent, radio silence.
Yeah. Oh, it's a huge difference. Like on a lot of different levels, really. Because like first and foremost, like you're gonna lose. If the commander isn't telling you like trying to like push people to a certain like thing to do, then like there's like half of the whole force is just just screwing off, not even like doing anything. And then like it's like essential to the like proper squad experience to have like guy telling you like, hey, squad 8, squad 9, we need to go to mosque, like it sounds really good. And they have like those little like nice little voice filters that make it sound like it's on like an intercom, something like that.
Oh yeah, the realism like part, the milsim part's very good. Yeah, the role playing part.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like when people are telling me to like do some shit to for the war effort, like I'm likely to get into it.
Yeah. Normally I'm out there just trying to get sick jumps with the tanks, but if somebody tells me to go fight somebody, I guess I will.
Oh, believe me,
Heli
the
clubs.
tank gameplay is its own thing. That's just we talked about it last time. What's crazy about it is just the vast amount of ways you can play the game. It's wild. But in relation to that command squad stuff that I was talking about, what's crazy about squad is it's like at the heart of the game. Of course, you have you and your gun playing an FPS game, trying to shoot the enemies, and obviously, if you kill the enemies, that's going to help your team win, right? But that's not the only thing at hand here. You've got two commanders battling it out, commanding their troops. They're playing a game of chess, literally a chess match, and moving their pawns and pieces around and putting them in positions. And then they just gotta kind of hope that these, you can win your gunfights and stuff. And it's just so interesting. It's just you don't see many games operate like it does. It's very, very unique. I feel like in the way that they've taken it with so much communication, and this new update's gonna be really cool to see. So we'll keep our eyes on that. But that's our squad talk for this podcast for now. I do want to transition now. Obviously, this is something that we guys had to experience firsthand, and I think we should talk about it on podcast. And that's the great apocalypse of Texas that we experienced. And I think not everybody in the world got to go through that, and so it's kind of interesting. And just kind of wanted to see what your lives were like during that, and where you're at now. So. I'll say what happened with me and everything, I guess, after you guys. But what was your experience of the Great Apocalypse? And give some background too for viewers that have no clue what I'm talking about when I say that. Like, what does that mean? Whoever wants to start.
So I was in San Marcos, Texas, and it started snowing. I don't remember the days, but it started snowing like at night, and it was coming down. Like it was coming down. The most I've ever seen in Texas. I've lived here my whole life, besides a little bit.
It doesn't really snow here, guys. This is a hot place. This is like
no. This never happens, man. So yeah, it started snowing a lot, and it was all shits and giggles, and then the power went out, and so from then on it was pretty much survival. We didn't have any heat, no refrigeration. So all our food was gonna go. No gas, or we had gas, but we don't have a gas oven, so we can use that. So I basically was like, we didn't have any food. The water boil notice, our water was out as well. Something happened there. Two of my neighbors, apartments got flooded from the fire, the fire system pipes breaking. Those were like right next to us, so we tried to let our sink drip, but water wasn't coming out anyways, so there wasn't really a lot we could do. And then we went to a friend's house. My roommate tried to drive off and immediately spun out in the middle of the road and went into the ditch. And she was like, all right, we can't leave that way. Hunter, you're gonna have to drive us everywhere since I have a truck. So I was the guru, the Sherpa, took us all around. We went to our friend Dakota's place because he had power, and then it immediately went out once we got there. And it was at nighttime, so we didn't want to drive. So we stayed up all night. We had a butane torch in the middle of his living room, and just huddled around it, stared into the flames, wished for it all to end. And then for the rest of the time after that, grocery stores were out of stock. Gas stations were either closed or out of stock. All the restaurants were closed. So I was eating peanut butter sandwiches, any old tuna cans that I had in the pantry. I ran out of food really quickly. Luckily, the gas station opened, and I was able to get some Ritz crackers to thrive off of.
And to jump in for context, for people that don't know, the reason why we all ran out of food when it comes down to this is we didn't know it was going to happen like this. No one had stocked up for this at all. It wasn't okay, something's coming, guys. Go get food. Go, get ready. Things started to just happen. So, your supplies were just what you happened to have. It just things started happening. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry, yeah.
I'm a poor college student, so the things that I did have, they weren't very healthy or sustainable. My cat was looking very tasty.
Hear that, man? It was How long did that last? Like, how long did it take for you to have power restored and be able to take a nice warm shower?
Like 4 days, 4
Four
to 5.
days.
And yeah, shit was wild. Shit was wild.
For sure. Man, it was awful. Just such a terrible time. And like, I'm just like now, I'm just so grateful that I have like hot water, man. That there's like electricity in these walls because like it like started, like started snowing. And let me make this clear, man. Like it had been like 467 days since I last saw snow, right? Like it does not ever snow, and it's like usually hot. It's Texas, so it's usually desert out here. But well, it started snowing, and apparently, like nothing in Austin was ready to handle anything, man. Because like our power went out like real fast, and it like we didn't like see it ever again. Like I thought it was gone forever. I thought it was just a blackout or something, bro. Because like the temperatures were obviously like really low, so like it was like 40 like 2 degrees like in my own house. Like I'm like fucking dying. But we like stayed here 2 nights, and we just like didn't have any food, bro. Like from the get go, man. We just did not have any grub. I go out and I buy food every day. You know what I mean? I'd go day to day, bro. And well, that just wasn't happening for like however long this shit was going on. So
I was
like
hungry.
we just didn't eat. You know what I mean? For like 2 days, I just didn't eat shit except for like some slices of cheese every once in a while or something that we had. And but we have my homeboy Zach. We went over to my homeboy Zachy's house, man. His mom cooked up some fucking like Arab food, bro. It was hella dank, man. Like yeah, you could put anything in front of me and I would have like destroyed it, bro. Like it was so good. I didn't even care what it was. Like it could have been anything.
Zachy.
And then we ended up like having to stay over at our house again. So just like we went through like 5 nights of like just staying in here when it was just like fucking so cold. It was like freezing outside. And but then Calzax hooked it up with a place to stay, I think for like 2 nights. So that was pretty nice. Yeah, like all in all, we didn't have power in our place for it was a week, maybe like 8 days or something. And we just recently got our water back like 2 days ago. So that's like it's been like 2 weeks or something like that without water. And just like 2 days, no, just yesterday we got our gas back because like it was crazy. There was like some gas leaks over here at our apartments, right? Because everything's shutting down because there's a little bit of snow or something. So there's gas leaks and people are like falling unconscious like over here at our apartments. Like like who knows what, but like people were like dragged from their apartments because they were like unconscious from the gas. And then like bro, it was insane, man. It was like every day was something different. Like we like went over to Calzax's crib, to get some grub because he had some like open actual places that were open, bro. Because nowhere was open. Like you could not get food anywhere. And so we come back home, and the door is kicked in, bro. Somebody kicked in our door and our neighbor's door, like while we were gone getting food, and we're just freaking out. We didn't know what was going on. Apparently, like some maintenance guys came up and like was trying to save some people from like some gas stuff, and just like booted down the door.
Holy shit!
So we don't even have like a good door anymore.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I forgot. Everywhere is closed in San Marcos except for one convenience store that was right down the road from like everybody's apartment complex.
I think I saw a Snapchat of yours about this.
$200. I spent at least $200 at gas stations whenever this was all going down.
Caleb saw the Snapchat, but all anarchy was in order. Like if there's snowing, there's no rules. We were like everybody in line was just like breaking open cases of beer and like just drinking in line and not paying for it, but like paying for the stuff at the end. Like me and the buddies, I gotta say, line beer hits different. It tastes a lot better. We paid for the stuff in the end. Like, I didn't steal shit, but there might have been a few free drinks around there. It was kind of nice because that thing was full, like stretching outside the door. Never seen it before. Like hour long wait, I think, from the very back of it. And they didn't have any sort of food. All they had was alcohol, so that's all we consumed. And that's
I didn't know they had any food. They didn't have any food. Wow.
No, I got some sour straws. That was nice.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I drank away my problems for that day.
I see. Yeah, no, it was a crazy time. I mean, you guys heard, chat. They had some stories there. It was a war zone out here, man. It was like the pandemic all started happening all over again or something. Like, it was just one of the craziest times. I could count on my two hands. I've lived half my life here in Texas. The amount of times I've seen snow here, and it was just like, they said it was gonna be cold, there was gonna be snow, and it's happened before, so it's like, okay, it'll be cool, it'll happen.
Yeah.
So it happens, and it starts coming down. I'm like, oh, cool, and I even tweeted it, like, oh, look at this, and then later on, I'm streaming, and I come back out, and I go back upstairs, and then there's a straight up foot of snow on my balcony, and I'm like, oh my God, this is the most I've ever seen in Texas by far, and it was cold. But then, like, it was cool for that night, and then, stuff started happening. Like, the power starts going out, water, like, people just, it is not good. Texas was not meant for what was going on. Like, I guess a lot of the power grid and, like, the windmills and stuff weren't winterized, so they were freezing and stuff. And I guess federally it's generally done. They generally pay for that kind of stuff, but I guess here in Texas is kind of like a different unregulated power market, and for whatever reason it hadn't been done, and the effects were felt. It was a problem, so it was crazy time.
Hey, we got our boost.
Oh, and we got the boost. Big boost in the chat. Hey, right in the middle of the podcast, episode 3. YouTube, we got our boost here. So appreciate you guys. Thank you. For the help there on that. But yeah, so crazy time. I'm trying to I had power for most of it, and I had Ethernet, but my Wi-Fi was out, so it was really hard. I wasn't able to like make videos. There was like no food. Thankfully, I had bought water. Thankfully, I had like gone out, and I had recently just bought a ton of water from the store.
Streams, you gotta hydrate.
It just happened. Yes, for my streams and stuff. And then like I had just 8 big things of water to drink on during that time, and I gave obviously Sidu and John some of it and stuff, and it was just good. We played a lot of VR during that time. We played through like Trover Saves the Universe and stuff like that. But it was a crazy little time, and I'm just happy we got. I like Sidu said, it's good to have the stuff back again. You definitely appreciate it. Stuff's open. I went to the grocery store today, got some groceries, and it was just nice to enjoy first world things, I guess, again.
Yo, Cryptic, I think that means I'm gonna have to be wearing my mask more. For sure.
Right? Yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff there, Cryptic. And so yeah, life is. Well, how is your guys' life? I mean, is everything back to normal now, Seagull, at your place?
Yeah, for the most part. Our gas stations, like, I don't know. I have gas stations right down the road, and I don't like to move a lot, so that's where I normally grocery shop. Got Mill Street Market down the road, which is a great place. Shout out to them. But like they've been really low stock and everything. Like they don't have any bread products, any sort of like freezer food, which is what I survive on normally. Like that's out. Like chicken, beef, like all like the grocery spots are down or like out. They never have any fruit punch body armor, which is my favorite flavor. Like I guess the supply chains got really messed up, so it might take a little bit for that to all come back. And till then, I guess I'll eat out, spend extra money. But for the most part, everything else, like I got power, we got water. We had a boil water notice for a hot minute, and I
Oh
drank them
yeah.
without doing that, and I got a headache. So don't do that. Listen to the authorities on that subject. You know, fuck the system, but don't fuck them that much. Um,
Yeah, you knew about it. We're like, I'm just so thirsty.
We
You
didn't
were
even
pushed
have
into it.
access to any water during the
Yeah,
whole
to
oil
do
ban.
that with. That's funny.
Yeah.
yeah, like I had a Brita water filter that I haven't changed in about 3 years, so I was like, oh, that'll probably be good enough to
Dude,
fix.
Yeah, I just
I'm
bought a
just so
burrito today.
grateful, man, that it's back to normal.
Yeah.
Like, believe me, chat, when I say there's nothing more humbling in this world than having to go take a shower every
Like
4
not being able to
days
live in your own
at
home
YMCA,
whatsoever.
like, and having to walk your sorry ass to Wag a Bag, you know, your local convenience store every time you need to take a dump.
Yeah. Oh,
Every
Yeah.
wait.
time.
What are you doing?
Oh, you need to use the restroom? Oh, gotta take a walk.
Take a
No,
hike.
no. You gotta be a professional snow dweller. You get some snow from outside and you let it melt. Or
Yeah,
you
yeah, and then
some power, you
boil
melt
it.
it, then you throw it in the toilet and flush it for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Pro tip.
That is a method as well. That is a method. Yeah, it got down to that, chat. Like people were, we were all having to do it. It was
Dude,
wild. Like you learned how what survival is.
Really
I
just
mean,
Bear Grylls type shit.
Yeah. Well, I guess okay. Let's jump back into a little bit of. I got a couple more Tarkov things that I'd like to ask here, and just general gaming stuff. Now we've discussed a lot of Tarkov. We discussed Squad. We discussed our experience with life lately. But what has been your most significant roadblocks lately, since the last kind of episode been in Tarkov? Quest, hideout station, anything like that? I guess I'll go ahead and start. Think for me, it's been just trying to work towards the Kappa. It's about to be shooter-born because I'm kind of knocking everything else out. Definitely the 40 scavs on interchange is taking me some time because that's a lot of scavs you got to clear out with the respirator and stuff on. And then other than that, getting the shoreline kills, I need to do that with the balaclava and the scav vest. Just kind of probably needs to run into resort. I do think that can be tough sometimes to find all the people for that. So that's kind of my roadblock. But I be having fun with it. You know, I like to play Tarkov. I like my shotguns and going to factory and stuff like that. So I recently finished that off, killed the 6 PMCs in the office and stuff. That was fun. What about you guys? What's been the tricky thing?
Gonna sound silly, but getting Tashanka for the therapist.
Oh no, that's not silly. I believe that.
Like, damn, like every time I go interchange, I'm like, well, you know, I want to go straight to Goshen and get all the Tashanka off the shelves, but I'm also wanting to get this graphics card that I'm sure is
Yeah.
found right over here. So I'll normally stop by there first, and then by the time I either die or don't get a graphics card because it didn't spawn, I'll be like, well, that sucks, but you know, fuel's really expensive right now. Let me just go check that out Ollie really quick, and then I'll either die or not get the stuff there. And then by the time I make my way to Goshen, somebody else is taking all my delicious beef stew.
For sure. Do you want me to tell you something helpful? Did you know you
Yes,
can craft them in your nutrition station?
That's very helpful, and I should probably
You should
think
craft
a
them.
little bit.
They're a lot easier. But I have found them in
think I will.
Goshen. You're definitely right. But yeah, I finally broke down and crafted them. I don't know if it was a recent ad that craft, but it was definitely a useful one. Because finding those in-raid things, I seem to be adding more and more crafts to those kind of things. Because again, this does seem like it's going to be the side tasks eventually. So, but yeah, what?
Yeah. My roadblock, man, I would have to say is just like, it's like a combination of like desync and my own computer. Honestly,
Oh yeah, I believe
kind of
that.
tough to like get into the game, like because like whenever I play a game like Tarkov, like you know, of course I have like chill games that I play, but like whenever I play a game like Tarkov, like I want to get into it, you know, I want to get like really into it, but like fuck, it's just like tough whenever like
Performance issues.
there's like you know that peeker's advantage going on, and like there's just like certain aspects, and like my own PC, of course, is like like you know definitely in the hot spot here as well.
Spring chicken.
But it just can really take it out of me, if that makes sense. It's like hard to like just like get on the game sometimes.
For sure, for sure. I hear that. Well, and I definitely know what you're talking about because, again, and this is something that we can talk about, I guess, right now. But I feel like since the game wiped, there's been like a sort of like memory leak almost, like since last wipe. It's just been like the RAM performance of the game has been really troublesome because I've noticed even my really nice computer. Granted, I only have 16 gigs right now, but that's still a lot for gaming, and I'll even notice that sometimes if I try to like load in a reserve or something, the game will crash and things like that. And I think it's a RAM thing. And it seems like there's been some sort of memory leak. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe it's not. But maybe with some of these performance optimizations they're putting into, maybe on that server backend, maybe that is part of it.
Yeah, I was real hyped to hear that.
But I definitely think they need to try to get that fixed up for those, in the middle PCs, because I know right now like your computer, at least before, was having trouble like basically to where you couldn't even play in reserve this wipe, even where you could last wipe.
Yeah.
Just something based on the loading in process seemed like the RAM was having issues or filling up more than it should be or something like that, to where it's almost like you have to have 32 gigs of RAM to play this game. Which is kind of wild.
Right.
And so hopefully they will get that fixed up. If you guys have experienced that, I'd love to hear about that, chat, and in the comments if you guys have noticed on your, like, basically if you guys have a budget PC or in the middle PC, let me know if you've been playing Tarkov for a little bit, what you think of the performance lately has been compared to like last wipe, and because that is what I've been noticing, but maybe it's just on my end. So let us see what shows have you guys been watching lately?
Tower of God.
Tower of God.
No way.
Attack on Titan. Yakusotsu no Neverland. Promised Neverland. I've been going through Sword Art Online, and I've been watching Snowfall. That's the one like actual show I've seen. Everything else is anime right now, but Snowfall on HBO is actually really good.
Snowfall is a banger.
Right? Good show right there.
So heard.
But 90% Japanese cartoons, 10% regular show.
I see.
For sure.
Well, commenters definitely let Seagull know what you think about his choices here. I know Sidu probably knows about most of those as well.
Yeah, I've seen every single thing that he brought up just then. Like, goddamn, second, that's what I'm talking about.
Mana culture right there.
What about you, Sidu? What you been watching?
I watch a lot of stuff.
What's been like the most recent, like literally the most recent thing?
So I mean, like I'm watching like 3 animes right now. Jujutsu no Kaisen or whatever.
Yeah, I've been watching that too. Good shit.
I'm watching. I watch a lot of shit, bro. I mean it. It's better to tell you what I don't watch, man. Honestly, like I watch a shitload. Like I've been watching. Like I watch One Piece every single Sunday. I've been watching some Black Clover. I've been watching Stone Wars or whatever. That was pretty good. Yeah, Dr. Stone. Yeah. I kind of fucks with that. That's all right. As in terms of like real shows, I've been watching like I always watch Trailer Park Boys kind of on and off. I watched a bunch of Better Call Saul recently. That show's really good. Just a whole lot, bro. I just
a consumer of media,
bro.
Sidu might have to start like a media talk or something. Chat.
Have you seen Down and Out Eastbound or Eastbound and Down?
Yeah.
Yeah. You said Trailer Park Boys and Danny McBride's in it too. It's basically like if he had a job, unlike in.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah.
That's funny. Interesting. Well, for me, I have no fancy answers. I'm more of a gamer heritage, but I have been watching Harry Potter lately. Actually, I'm on the second one. I hadn't seen it in years, bro. And I was like, you know what? It's been a long time since I've seen Harry Potter, and I would be upset if I was to die today and not having seen Harry Potter again. So I was like,
You're absolutely
it's probably
right.
time I fit this back into the schedule. I'll maybe move on to more productive shows or something later, but the nostalgia just took over.
You never have to justify watching Harry Potter to me. Don't worry.
Cryptic, what do you recommend to do with the shortage of graphics cards IRL? I have a 960, but I don't want to spend $1,200 on a 20 series card. How do you get around to that? Yeah, don't spend $1,200 on a 20 series card nowadays.
You have to find
I'm not
somebody
exactly
that has
sure.
one, and then love them.
Yeah, kill them.
For sure. I mean, maybe at this point in the current state, either trying to get a 30 series if you can for a decent price, or maybe waiting if you like. If you want to upgrade soon, maybe it's kind of a tough time because of the shortages. But I probably would not spend $1,200 on a 20 series cards because it's not gonna be worth it. If you can get your hands on a 30 series, that's really what I would shoot for. Otherwise, try to look for something like maybe like a refurbished or older like card that's better than your 960, but that's not that much of a expense, so you can wait till the 40 series or something. You know what I'm saying? Till they have stock. So yes. Well, I think, chat, that is all we have for the outline today on the podcast. As usual, it's about an hour and a half, so definitely if you guys want to catch it on stream, make sure you guys are paying attention on Twitter, on the Discord for notifications so you can catch it live. But again, this is always up on YouTube later, so we'll have it up. But yes, that is going to do it for us. Seaglum, Cedu, do you have anything else you'd like to tell the people while you've got the chance here?
Watch Jujutsu Kaisen.
That's good use of your statement.
It really does
That's-
slap, honestly. You can
that's
fucking
my
watch
one
that
statement.
show with any kind of opinion on anime and you'd like it.
That is a true statement. That's all I have to say.
Well, 10-4, guys. We are looking forward to episode 4. Let us know in the comments again what you want to hear us talk about, because we can obviously include that always into episode 4. We will try to get that at you guys soon. We're going to be doing tons of content up on the YouTube, up on the Twitch. We got lots of new things coming. You're going to be seeing a lot from my boy Hunter Lang in the very near future. New YouTube guides, new YouTube content, the same series. We're trying to put those episodes out. But yes, everybody, episode 3 wrapped up. Thank you for coming out, and we will catch you guys in the next episode.